Hi everybody. So what I'd like to do today is to take you on a tour of my plant room and just give you an idea of what I have, where I've started from, where I'm going. Right now I've got the shelves and the plants that you see here. I started out with wanting to have succulents, and knowing that after I bought the succulents, what I found out was I don't get enough sunlight in this house. So what I did was I started out with this shelf here. It looks like it's two shelves, but the kit came with technically one shelf that you could configure in two different ways. And because of how I was going to be doing it, hi sweetie, look at you. Can I take a picture of you? Okay. So knowing the space that I had and where I was going to put it, I broke it into the two shelves instead of one large tall shelf. And I only had, a few plants to begin with. You can kind of see that the shelves are relatively small. They can hold a decent amount of succulents because succulents are small. But you don't want to pack them in. You want to give succulents space. They need airflow. They need, you don't usually want them to be touching their neighbors because if one neighbor has pests, you're going to have, pests transferring to other plants more easily. So you want to give them space, at least in my opinion. So I started out with, say hi to Harley. I started out with these two shelves. And one of the things that I did was I decorated. So you'll see that I've got sun catchers hanging here. I've got little jewelry or knickknacks or different things that were kind of fun. Things that gave me a little bit of joy. The plants were a way for me to decompress. They were a way for me to have serenity in my life, to come home from work, to spend time with the plants, and to just absolutely just meditate and be happy with myself and with my environment and with the plants themselves. Originally, these were in a closet, and then I moved them out here. So for a while, the upper shelf was another expansion of succulents. Since I brought it out here, I've got different plants out here. I did kind of segue into some tropical plants, and my favorite plants of all are syngonium. And so that's what I've got out here. I've got syngonium. Some channels have said that syngonium are as easy as a pothos, and you may have seen pothos in different places. Oh gosh, I hope I can get a good look at this leaf. Oh my god, it's so pretty. This is my Maria Illusion, and the color on this thing is amazing. What a pretty plant. But yeah, some of the channels have said, oh, sorry, I just got distracted because this is a new leaf and it's very shiny and new and pretty. And already there's going to be another leaf. These things grow so fast and they're so rewarding. Absolutely love them. They are toxic to cats, so I avoided getting them for a long period of time because I did love them, but I love my cats more. Okay. One of the things that I wanted to kind of convey is that plants are an experiment and a game, and you can bring to it a number of trial and error. Some will live, some will die. It can be sad, it can be heartbreaking, and it can be really, really rewarding, depending on how you perceive it. Okay, so I want to come over here. So after I expanded, because of course anybody who loves plants will eventually expand. At least in my experience, anybody who loves plants will always want to expand. I expanded to a second shelf, and it was a small shelf, and I bought some cheap lights, and I hooked these lights up under here, and you can see they're very close to the plants, relatively speaking. And so some of my higher light plants are on the smaller shelf, and above it, because I've moved it out here, I've got some tropicals. So this was one of my most incredible finds. I went to Home Depot and I found this plant, which some people have told me is actually a tricolor. This plant has the pink spotted leaves in it, as well as some green leaves. And oh, so pretty, so pretty. I followed these down to the nodes, and they're all together. So it isn't like there's 3 plants in one or whatever. This is one whole plant. So, so pretty and rewarding. And it keeps throwing out new leaves. This big plant was once as small as those other plants that I showed you. It's another Syngonium. Okay. And next to that, okay, so people who love plants have a tendency to fall in love with certain kinds of plants. And so I went down the rabbit hole of Hoya. And I don't know about Hoya, and I don't know what I'm going to think about Hoya, but I bought this Hoya, and I'm not in love with it, but the new leaves come in this amazing bronzy color, kind of a dark, almost black color, and they're very, very fascinating. And it throws out vines, and the vines reach out all over the place. These vines go where they want to go. And I bought it a trellis to climb, and we'll see. Okay. So then after a while, I discovered that, I still didn't have enough room. And for Black Friday, I decided I was going to buy another shelf. And so I did that. And that is this shelf here. When it came, it should have had 6 shelves, but one of the shelves was bent. And so I contacted the seller and I said, hey, the shelf is bent. I gave them pictures. I'm like, it's really unusable. Can I have a replacement? Now, I kind of expected the answer I got, which was no. These are kits. We don't have the components separately. We just can't do that. Would you take $30 off instead? And I was like, yeah, give me $30 off. So I ended up getting a really good deal on this particular shelf, even though I didn't get everything that I wanted or was supposed to. I got quite a bit of product for the price that I actually was looking for. Now, these shelves are on Amazon, and they're called B-strip. My one minor con for these shelves is that the lights they come with are rather dim for succulents. They're not necessarily dim for tropical plants if you're just supplementing. So I moved one of those lights over here to this shelf, and these plants are loving life. This peperomia threw up a flower spike, which I did not expect. This is a cutting and it threw up a flower spike. And then the peperomia in the back is actually growing a baby shoot. So they're dim for succulents, but they're not dim for other types of plants. Now, there are different kinds of succulents, right? So we have Haworthia on this shelf. This light is not on. The one in the back is on, and this is a free licked light. So you do have to consider your succulents and their light conditions and what they're looking for. My brightest of brightests can tolerate the 2 lights that are the B-strip lights or the even cheaper lights. And then some of my more sensitive plants, what you can see here is even in these conditions with just 1 plant light, this is a very sun-stressed plant. It's not damaged or anything, but it's darker than what it would be in the wild or in lower light. This is a favorite right here. This is one of my Haworthia, and it's getting babies that are almost fully variegated. So I won't remove them from the mother plant. Just so pretty. And then, you know, after a while, that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough, and I wanted another shelf. And this one isn't a kit. I bought the shelf separately. I bought the lights separately. I bought the liners all separately. I don't right now know how much that cost. Sometimes I think it's best that we don't always know how much something costs. Otherwise it will make us feel like maybe we shouldn't have done that. But I've been very happy with this, and it has allowed me to expand. Also, what you'll notice is the spacing between the shelves is more than the spacing between the other shelves. You might not be able to see that in the video, but I tried to keep it about even, but it is bigger spacing, and that allows me to have bigger plants. Succulents in general are small, and they sometimes stay small and compact. But this is my rescue plant right here. She was at Lowe's, and she was a clearance plant. She has had powdery mildew. She has had mealybugs. But if I could get a look at the center, the new growth on her and the flower itself is just proof of how much she's loving life. Absolutely amazing. And then, of course, next to her is my Kalanchoe Fang, which I feel really bad about because I've seen Kalanchoe Fang growing outside in California, and they're tremendously gigantic, and it's never going to be happy here. So that's one of the things that you learn is each of these is an experiment. Like, are they happy with the amount of light they're getting? Are they happy with the amount of watering you're doing? Each one of these things is, you know, a little bit of a pro and con. The other thing I did was I bought a plant stand. And I do get some sunlight when it is sunny, not today. But this allows them to, these certain plants to be off to the side. They get the ambient light without having direct light. And at first, you know, I didn't think that that would necessarily be a good thing. But for maybe an hour a day, this Peperomia Quito gets direct sunlight and has a flower spike. Like, this is as happy as it's ever been. And I was kind of heading towards, this is not a happy plant, I need to get rid of it. Sort of like, this is not a happy plant, and I'm not sure. But it actually doesn't look unhappy. It just looks like it's changed form and shape and color over time, which plants do. Form and shape and color over time. These are definitely changes that you're going to see. And it's one of the beauties of this hobby. You get to see like what they like and who they are and what they could actually be if they're happy. So I think that's enough for now. That's really all I've got to say. I want to thank you for joining me and have a good rest of your day.